Noninkables. Hello and welcome to Noninkables. We are on to episode 12 of the podcast. If you're new, welcome. This week on the channel, I posted the first of what's going to be a series of going over the Chinese Lorcana cards. There will be more to come. I also noticed that there was an update to the comprehensive rules. Since I made the comprehensive rules videos, I will be posting the update as well. They did update stuff for set 7, so it includes like the dual inks and vanish and all that stuff. In terms of games played, MGL Margolis, what does it stand for? It is Margolis Gaming Labs. Their tournament did start last week, and I paired into Gary, and I lost so bad. I played a blue steel deck that's more like control-y. It's best of 2. I won the die roll. And in the first game, I got to like 16. And then he just had answers for literally everything I played. And then the second game, I was on the draw and I just drew horribly. I drew like all 4 fishbone quills, a Fortis sphere, and that got me like a great stone dragon. It was just, I had nothing. So I lost pretty bad. I also didn't practice or decide literally on a deck until 10 minutes before we started playing. And I had been toying with the idea of playing like a more aggro deck, like a green yellow deck. And Brian was like, oh, you should play aggro because Gary always plays control. And I was like, oh, but what if he doesn't? Because we had been talking about what decks to play and he was pretty undecided too. He sent me like a purple steel deck that he thought about playing and some other random decks. And I was like, oh, what if he plays not control? And I should have just listened to Brian and played aggro because I would have smoked him. But on the bright side, I feel like this is how I usually do set champs. I lose the first round and then I am in the lower part of the bracket and then I gotta bubble myself up into the top 16 for this competition. This week I'm playing Tegan. She also lost her match against Edmund. But besides us two, everybody else has had draws. So it's not quite over. It's going to be 4 rounds, best of 2. I didn't realize how long this tournament was going to take because we don't usually play in a real league, like a long-term commitment type league. We just go to constructed tournaments that count as league. And so I feel like this is a long-term commitment that I didn't realize when I signed up. At least in 4 weeks, it'll be either done or I'll have made it to top 16. We played on Wednesday. And then on Friday, we played at DVY for a constructed, and I ended up getting first, but totally like luck-based. It was best of 3 constructed, 3 rounds. First round, I got a bye, so automatic win, right? Second round, I played Daniel, who was playing yellow, green, and I took, what did I play at that one? I think I played blue steel. I played the same blue steel. It's the easy deck for blue steel, I think. He didn't get any crazy combos or anything. And then the third round, I played against red, blue, I keep wanting to call him Luigi, but that's not his name. I think it's Luigi or something. And he's on like a DKP build. And I think I won the first game. He won the second game. And in the third game, we went to turns. And neither of us won after turns, but it was like pack per win. So we decided just die roll to see who would win, and I won the die roll. So I literally placed first because I could win a die roll, and also I got a bye, and I just played 1 round. Brian was second, and he was undefeated on green steel, and he actually was like really actually undefeated. Like he won that versus me just being very lucky. So that was fun. It was pack per win, and then we also got 2 promo cards between us, and then I also got a pin. This is the pin I ended up picking out, Mad Hatter. And then this one Gary gave me. He won it at some constructed, but Gary doesn't care about pins or foil cards, so he just gave me the pin. So now I have 2. And yeah, so that was Friday. Over the weekend, I opened up 2 cases of set 7 and got 2 Tamatoas. So now we have a total of 6 Tamatoas. So we got 3 from the other 2 cases I opened, 2 from the 2 cases I opened over the weekend, and then 1 from like a sealed. So the pull rate for Tamatoas is pretty bad, I would say. It seems like the pull rate for legendaries this set are all pretty bad unless it's like for a card that nobody plays, like Baloo or Donald Duck. I feel like the pull rates for that have been fine. But for some reason, like all the cards that you would want more of have been hard to get. Luckily, Brian's pretty set on his green steel, so we have a play set of Tamtoa that I can use for when I decide what blue deck I'm playing, and I feel like I'll probably play blue. I don't know. Last night I was practicing a bunch and I definitely spiraled. So I was playing online and I just kept losing. It was so bad. And I kept playing different decks and I just kept losing. It just seemed like my opponents kept high rolling and getting really good combos and stuff. I probably will try to stick to the same deck and get better at it rather than switch around like I did last set. I showed you guys my foil Elsa mat last week, and this week I am working on a foil bell mat. It is partially done. Okay, so this is the bell mat, and so far I've done like kind of the flower petals. I'm trying to shake it to see if you can see the shiny flower petals, but I think I'm gonna do like many layers of foil. So there's pink for the flower petals, but then some of the flower petals also have like a really light pink highlight, so I want to do that. And then I also want to like amp up this gold that's on her cloak and her earrings, and also on the actual lantern. And then I'm not sure if I want to do like this part of her cloak. I think that might be too much, but this is what I have so far. Totally iron on some of the pieces. So this is an example of like how the foiling goes on. So it's like a sheet of foil, and then I trace this out on I have a picture of this, and then I trace out what I want on Procreate, which is like a drawing app, and then it's in like a different layer to the picture of the mat. So then I export that layer to Cricut, and then Cricut will cut it out, and then you take off like the extra parts, and then you just stick this on, and then you put an iron over it, and then it stays. And I think with this material, at least so far with my Elsa mat, I haven't noticed any like bending of the foiling, like any imperfections because of that. And then we'll see how this goes. My first experience with like heat transfer foil, actually I made my daughter a Halloween costume that was a 5-pound bag of rice. So I'll put a picture here, but she was in the NICU and like exactly 5 pounds surprisingly that day. And so it was perfect, but it was like a 5-pound of Calrose Botan rice. And then the next mat I'm gonna do probably is the Donald Duck Buccaneer one. So obviously gold for his outfit and the sword hilt. And then for this part, like silver. So I'm trying to do like different colors of foil. And so this is my new obsession. One of my new obsessions that I've been working on a lot of, and probably should be practicing my deck more priorities, but this is so fun. And I'm so hyper-focused on it. And then, I mean, my other obsession has been Epic the Musical, which is like I think it's Epic the concept album actually. So it's like multiple albums where together they form like a potential musical, and it was all done through TikTok, and like they cast it through TikTok, and all their marketing is through TikTok, and they finished December of 2024, but recently it's been super trending. So that Calypso song is like just stuck in my head. So constantly I'm just like, morning sleepyhead, you've been resting for a while. And that's just always in my head. I also reorganized our card storage. I don't know if you can tell. All our cards are stored kind of in the back here. So on the top, we have like all of the play sets for stuff. Technically only 1 through 6 because we ran out of room for 7. And it's in order of like, it's organized by, it's basically an order of number for the card. So it's by color basically. And then all our bulk is kind of in these like pull out drawers. And so I had like partially sorted them by set, and it was like just the rares and above, and then like the foil separate. And so then there are some that were like just all the colors together by set. So this weekend I went and organized all of them by color, by set, and then by color. If you open a drawer, you'll see like all the set 1 cards, and then the foil, and then all the set 2 cards, and then all the foils are in their own drawer, so that you open a drawer and it's like all of the amber foil cards, set 1, set 2, set 3, whatever, onwards. That way, if we happen to want to play some card that normally we don't keep because a lot of the foils we keep up in the top play set, like the ones that are used a lot, like Maui's and like Tamatoas, that kind of stuff. But like sometimes we will randomly be like, oh, let me put in like an imperial bow, and then those foils will be in the book. So that way, hopefully it's a little bit easier to find. In that process, I found the legendary Gantu from chapter 1 that was just in with the rest of the cards, and I was like, oh, I could totally put this in the shop. I've been putting a bunch of cards in the shop. I also replaced some of our play sets with the Chinese versions and then put the English versions in the shop, like Rapunzel and Stitch Carefree Surfer and Be Prepared and Maui's. Normally, if Brian plays a deck, he usually wants to play with the foils. So he'll make the deck from the foils. And then if I play a deck, I either do foils or I do other languages. And so I've kept like one full play set of English and then one play set of could be English, Chinese, French. Those are the languages we have. And so if you check out our store, there's probably a bunch of stuff. And then because I opened those 2 cases of set 7, there's like a bunch of set 7 stuff up there too. Unfortunately, no, we're still trying to get a full 2 play sets of that. But I have more cards coming in today. I basically bought them as a birthday present to myself because my birthday was last week. And so they're going to be here. So I'm going to be opening so many cards today. So next weekend, we're probably going to play. So this week I have to play Tegan for MGL. We still have to schedule that. I think she's like traveling, so it's kind of on her schedule. And then on Friday, I think we'll probably play at DVY, like our usual spot. But then for the weekend, we signed up for a new tournament. For the weekend, we signed up for a tournament at Game Castle in Redwood City. So a little bit far for us, but like it's the weekend, whatever. And it's a 1K, possibly more, depending on how many people they get. So I think this is like one of the first, I was going to say cash money tournaments on the West Coast. Brian and I had played technically in a cash tournament. We went to SCG last year in Vegas. But I feel like most of the tournaments around here are not cash, but this one is. So it's March 30th at 11 a.m. It costs $40, so a little bit expensive compared to like, a regular tournament, but it is going to have like more people. So it is capped at 64. So if there are 32 players, the first place wins $350 in cash. Second gets $150, 3 and 4 get $80, and then 5 through 8 get $50. So if you make it to the top 8, you would win your money back plus $10. And then if they hit 64 players, they will double the payout. It starts at 11 a.m. on the 30th. That one is kind of a newer one that we are going to play in. Upcoming the week after that, we're going to be playing at Gold Star in Sacramento. They're having another tournament. It is called Another Pretty Good Lorcana Tournament. I will put a link in the description below for that as well. It is on April 5th. You can buy a ticket on Eventbrite. It's like $50. It is best of 2, cut to top 8, which will be best of 3. It's technically $45, but with all the Eventbrite fees, it'll be $50 basically. And then they also may have Pack Rush, Draft, and Constructed there. The pricing is first place gets 2 cases of Arcasia's Island and a custom foil playmat. The last time they had one, Tyler got a foil playmat and some other people got foil playmats, and that's what gave me the idea to try to make a foil playmat. Twitter, but like I feel like seeing it in real life really pushed me to try to make my own on my own. And then second place is 1.5 cases plus a foil mat. Third place is 1 case and a foiled deck box. I don't know what the foiled deck box looks like, so maybe that's my next foiling project. I assume it's probably just like foil vinyl, which is, I would say, easier than the heat transfer. And then fourth place gets 2 boxes, and then 5th to 16th, it depends on attendance. And it was pretty well run last time, and they had food trucks come for lunch, and there was like a lunch break, which was nice. So we're going to that next weekend. And then I don't think we're doing anything big the weekend after that, but the weekend after that, there is another event that's called Bippity Boppity Brawl, and I will also put a link for that. And that one is organized by Margolis Gaming Labs, which is like the league that we're in right now, and it's down in Fremont. So I think it's in partnership with 88 Card House. So they do their set champs at the Wyndham Garden hotel that's across the street, and so that's where this one will also be. The tickets for that are $55.20 on Eventbrite. But the prizes, so the reason why we're going is the prizes. But it is 2-game format, best of 2, 2-game format, cut to top 8, and then that is best of 3. And then, so the pricing depends on how many people go. But first prize gets the DLC foil Cinderella Stout-Hearted. So we have the DLC Cinderella, but not the foil version. The foil version you had to win, and so you will be able to win that here. Second place gets the foil Let It Go from the DLCs. Third place, if there's 50 or more players, gets a Baymax promo. If there are 70 or more players, gets the Rapunzel DLC promo. And then fourth place, if it's 50 players, is a Baymax promo. Whereas if there are 70 or more players, it's a Sisu Empowered Sibling Enchanted. And then fifth to eighth place, if it's 50 people, is 10 packs of Arcasia's Island. If it's 70 or more people, it's the Baymax promo. And then if there's 70 or more people, 9th through 16th, get 10 packs of Arcasia's Island. So pretty cool. So excited to go to that. Our plan is to go to that. I realize now, as I'm saying that, I have to switch some work stuff around to try to go to that. Yeah. So I feel like those are the major big ones. And then after that, it will be like May, and then that will be Set Champs time again. Still waiting on Lorcana, Ravensburger, Disney to announce DLCs. Are any happening this year? Question mark. Worlds, is that happening? Or are they going to wait for Asia to catch up? Like, what is happening? I don't know. I feel like nothing has really been announced. Set Champs will be May 3rd to May 25th. I think 2 of our local game stores have already released when they're going to do it. And we signed up for Games of Berkeley already. I think theirs is on May 3rd. And then NorCal TCG is the other one that kind of like gave us a heads up on when it'll be. So yeah, that's how it's going. I should really practice with my decks more instead of just working on foiling mats all the time. I did bring my foil mat to DVY, and they were super cool. And they were like, hey, if you want to sell these mats, like, we can display them in our store if you want. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I feel like I need to like figure out the process and streamline it a little bit first, and then figure out like, how much do I even charge for these mats? So if you guys know like how much people charge for foil mats, let me know. That'd be great. I think I tried to look it up on Etsy, and there weren't very many examples. So, and I assume like probably if it's like multiple colors of foiling, that could cost more. So I need to like first trial and error and work it out, because I feel like my Elsa one is not perfect. The lines are not very smooth, and I feel like I got the sizing a little bit off, but I feel like this Belle one worked a lot better. And then the other thing I have to decide, which I'm kind of on the fence, is whether or not I foil the stuff that's outside of the outline. So like if you look on the mat here, like there's petals underneath the outline. I don't know if I want to foil that, or if I want to keep the foiling contained to make it look more neat. Undecided. So those have been my projects. We've been playing more, and more, like 3 competitions this week probably. So the online hybrid one through MGL, the usual constructed league at DVY, and then on the weekend, I think it's on Saturday, I want to say. Nope, it's Sunday. March 30th is a Sunday. So on Sunday, the one in Redwood City, where we can maybe win money, although that is not my goal. So my goal is just to practice my deck and play to the best of my ability, and then we'll see where we land. If I'll do my usual lose the first round and then bubble into the top, which is what I usually do. Oh, I did also buy, our local Barnes & Nobles had, so I wanted to buy a trove because I like the dice. The dice this set are like white and green. It's so funny because we were talking at DVY and I was like, oh, I want to get a trove. But they were out, and one of our locals was like, why do you want a trove? And I was like, he was like, why do you want a trove? The dice are so ugly. And I was like, oh, I really like the dice. That's why I want it, because they look like marble and jade, which just feels very Asian and serene. And like I feel like the numbers are really easy to see, unlike, I don't remember what set it was, but they had like the see-through dice with glitter, and then it was like very hard to see the numbers. So I feel like these are very easy to read. And so I was trying to find a trove, and they were out, and I think I checked like Games of Martinez when I was there, because we had won the raffle. They have like a monthly raffle, so we'd won like $15, and they did not have a trove. And then our local Barnes & Nobles had a trove, so I bought a trove and like a couple packs. Our trove luck continues. It's horrible. We got like nothing good in the trove. I think we got like a Baloo and a Donald Duck, which is pretty much our trove luck. We have probably over the course of Lorcana bought like 15 troves, never pulled a legendary, or never pulled a enchanted from a trove. Whereas our friends, I feel like, have very good luck with troves. So I think troves are not for us. Although this set, it seems like booster boxes are not for us either. Oh, The other thing I pulled this weekend, when I was opening the 2 cases, I pulled an enchanted Ratigan. Let me see if I brought it up here. And like, it was so funny because I had pulled the legendary Ratigan before that, and I was like, oh, what is this card? I didn't even know this card existed. And then we got an enchanted one. Let me see if it's up here. I have like all my stuff in a box. I don't know if I put it in this box or if I put it somewhere else. I do. Okay, so here is the enchanted Ratigan. Look at it. It looks so cool. I feel like the enchanteds from this set look so awesome. So enchanted Ratigan. This is the hero we had traded for last week. And then Ryan's Restoring Atlantis he got from Sealed. So those are our enchanted so far. Yeah. And then I just have like a bunch of scars. These are like all the ones from last set. So yeah, we did get that one. So only 1 enchanted in 2 cases, which is lower than the usual rate. And usually I am higher than the usual rate. So I feel like this set is turning out to be a little bit like Shimmering Skies, because I had this kind of luck during Shimmering Skies where I just did not have good luck. So yeah, that is it for me for this week of the Noninkables podcast. It's so silly because everyone has like an intro song, and I feel like it's very iconic. Like Lorcana Goons has their like A-A-O, and then Zan has his thing. It's like a video game sound. So I just sung Noninkables as the sound. I feel like that's just like a vocal stim. And so maybe I'll just keep adding to it and layer it, maybe harmonize with myself. I don't know. Or I'll just leave it as is, as a silly little like Noninkables. But I got to think of one for the ending. That's like where it shows like the thank you for watching, whatever. But still workshopping that. So if you guys have any idea for what to do for the ending theme song, let me know. Low production value over here. My choice of instruments are a piano, a flute, and my voice. Oh, and technically a guitar and ukulele, but I can't really play them, so not really. As always, keep shuffling. Hopefully you don't end up with a whole handful of Noninkables like me. All right, bye.